Hello and welcome to week three's mini lecture in week three of this course. I hope you had a good spring break and you're ready to go for the last few weeks of the semester. As a reminder of some upcoming events or announcements and assignments, the alternate assignment for those who may miss the live session on March 6th. This will be posted by Thursday, March 8th, and it'll be due Friday, March 23rd. As far as that, so just check that out. It should be listed under the synchronous sessions module under the modules tab towards the top. As a reminder, group assignments start this week and they continue through week 4. I'll have some information about that later in this mini lecture. And also you might want to consider as well, consider setting up your ePortfolio site this week, at least going in, logging into the U.OSU web portal and make sure your dashboard and everything is kind of set up and ready to go for some of that work, which will start next week. As a review from last week, recall we talked about motivation, that ability to persist, and how we are able to attribute our successes or failures to certain things. And when we know that information, we can judge successfully whether it was kind of based upon our control or some other type of control. We discussed self-regulation, which again is that ability to monitor behavior, cognition, and motivation before, during, and after learning. The ability of motivation and self-regulation is, when we're aware of that loss of attention, we're able to go back and change our learning processes. We're aware of our faults, comprehensions, and we can set different short-term goals that kind of helps us in some of these processes as well. Self-regulation, is a learned process and is adaptive. You're not necessarily born with poor self-regulation or even good self-regulation. It's something that needs to be practiced and continue to develop over time as you're learning throughout school and afterwards as well. And again, for improving self-regulation, having greater awareness of yourself and your learning processes, having good, strong motivational beliefs, whether that is intrinsic interest in something, whether that is having good self-efficacy or outcome expectations for different learning activities. You've got to practice those strategies as well. And managing environment, so knowing whether you need acquired environment or some type of environment to be successful whenever you're working on your assignments, say, away from class. And there's also reading on SMART goals, understanding how best to make goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and they have a time frame on them. When you're able to set goals based upon that, you tend to be more effective, with goal setting, and you're able to keep those goals, whether short term or long term. Okay, overview of this week. There will be lections and readings on online collaboration, readings about how best to be effective online group projects, how best to work together in online projects, how to work through conflict management procedures when you're working with group members online, and also email etiquette. Technology tryouts will go over technology related to cloud storage, such as Buckeye Box, Google Drive, Dropbox, and so on and so forth, as well as also online collaboration tools, both scheduling and meeting tools. So whether that's Karma Connect, Adobe Connect, whether that is Slack or meeting tools such as Doodle and some of the things as well. That'll be useful as you work on your group projects these next 2 weeks. So that'll be that discussion with that. There again, just as other weeks, there will be a quiz over the readings and lecture, and then reflection paper for those who choose to do it. Reminder that 4 of 6 are required, or the 4 best scores will be taken at the end of the term to compute final grades. And then, as I discussed, the case study this week was Sarah. That'll be a group assignment this week and next week. This week you will be looking at the video and also have a group meeting sometime this week to discuss your plan for the group assignment. Specifically, the group collaboration that you're going to be working on. So reminders as you start that, you need to initiate the conversation ASAP. Look in the People tab in Carmen and you can see who's part of your group. You need to schedule a meeting. Use some scheduling tool that's recommended, such as Doodle or Google Calendar. Buckeye Mail Calendar, something like that that kind of helps you out. Use some of the tools that you learned in this class. That's part of the reason of introducing these tools. And during that meeting, you make sure you clarify roles, the goals of the assignment, your plan of action, also deadlines for yourself internally, as well as also take into account the actual class deadlines as well. So it's important to have some synchronous meeting, ideally using Karma Connect, using the group rooms, but using Hangout, Skype, some other way is also acceptable as well, as long as you are trying to meet. It's important to do it synchronously. So there can be some asynchronous stuff such as email and discussion boards, um, but make sure that you're trying to meet at the same time as well to kind of utilize some of those tools. That's the benefit of some of the increased technology that is out there now for some of this video conferencing. As part of your group meeting, you should be discussing a collaboration preferences sheet, which will be an assignment that you'll get, which is an individual assignment due the mid part of week 3. But again, you should be using this to discuss in your group meeting. It discusses some of your interests when it comes to group work and what you feel as your strengths are for group work. Part 2 of the group collaboration these next 2 weeks is the group meeting notes, which will be a submission by one group member to submit the notes to the appropriate assignment Dropbox. Rough notes are okay. They don't need to be necessarily edited to look nice and pretty, just as long as I see notes from your meetings that you have and your discussions on your plan of action. Part 3 will be the video response that you guys will be creating this week and will be due towards the mid part of next week, which will be going over the case study, Sarah, and discussing some plans for her in terms of problem identification and also ways that she can improve upon her experiences when it comes to group. And you can see details about that in this week. And then last response will be an individual discussion board response to one of the group's video where you critique or ask a question related to that to keep the conversation going on their video and give ideas for how they might be able to improve their video. So that is the plan for group collaboration, and that's kind of the plan for this week. So with that, please be sure to contact me with any questions or concerns this week with your group assignments or anything else related to the class. And yeah, so I hope you have a good week. All right, bye-bye.